Yes, sir. So Malika Andrews was trending for about 2 weeks for all of the wrong reasons. Everybody and their mama was coming at Malika Andrews. She needs to be fired. She's a feminist. She's disrespectful, especially to black men. A lot of people got their feelings hurt. They had high expectations. They couldn't pick up on the vibes to begin with. I thought people would have picked up on the vibes when Malika Andrews was talking about Kyrie Irving. He needs to get the vaccine, talking about people are selfish and putting people's lives in danger and all of that shit. I thought people would have picked up on it from then. But a good amount of men and majority of the public are reactive. You get me? Jumping into a situation with a chick and you got high expectations and then you find out she's just like the rest. You got all these other dudes that think that somebody's going to be different just because she might be a little more attractive than the one of the past. Then you find out they're exactly the same. People are talking about, I miss Rachel Nichols now. She's just the same. She's no different. Malika is just younger. Complexion for the connection, whatever it may be. You know how many people are tight at Malika Andrews, how entitled she is right now to basically get gifted to be the host of NBA Today and do what she does. But it's not like she goes to ESPN with her own script to disregard black men. So a lot of people who basically take this opportunity to just jump on social media, the internet, whatever space, complain about women, take this time out to attack Malika and whatnot. You hear nobody talking about ESPN. You have nobody talking about how there's two brothers, quote unquote brothers, that are sitting at the table, just sitting there allowing it to happen. They have no issue with it at all. Bedroom talk that's getting talked on a sports television show. You know it gets watered down when women get in these spaces and then they act crazy, but these are the monsters that men allow. They allow this shit. Company men, or in the spaces where women are around. Bunch of yes men. Can't really keep it real. Only worried about that check. Jalen Rose is only worried about the wigs and his hairline. That's it. Richard Jefferson. And this is what I talk about with people being reactive at. Basically, it takes Malika Andrews to basically show her true character, that she really doesn't give a shit about you, regardless of all of the race conversations that she was talking about in 2020 during the bubble, Breonna Taylor, the protests, boycotts, all of that shit. When you're up and coming, when you look innocent and everybody's all Google Gaga over you and whatnot, because it's like that new girl that comes to your high school because you're familiar with all of the girls from middle school, elementary, nothing fancy about them. Then the new girl comes around, you have high expectations out of nowhere, being thirsty. Malika Andrews is no different. You know what I'm saying? But then you got these brothers, when I'm talking about being reactive to situations, they want to pull up clips. They pulled up a clip with Richard Jefferson basically getting offended that Malika Andrews basically implied that he's a mind reader. Of course she did it in a snobby tone because that's who she is. She's a snob. She's one of those prissy chicks. You could just tell. She said that he's a mind reader in that little snobby tone. He got offended, of course, but bros, does it really do you any justice to really like try to win an argument with one of these chicks? When you already know that you're right, why get into a back and forth? Especially when it's over sports. You know they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But Richard Jefferson could get more offended in that situation more than sitting here at the panel at the end of the table while Ime Udoka is in the background like the poster boy for sleeping with men's wives, dirty Mac, and working and sleeping with women in the workplace. And then have Malika Andrews read from the script to basically tarnish the image of the interim head coach when nobody even knows, nobody was looking into his past. People want to know what the fuck is going on. Who is this other woman that works for the Celtics? People weren't trying to figure out about Joe Mazzulla's past from 13 years ago. But the disrespect, the disregard of black men will continue while company men continue to be company men. They don't speak up and speak the truth. They want to continue to be yes men, to entitle these chicks, to basically empower chicks like this to say what they want, and then men get triggered. They want to become reactionary, and then they want to dig up the dirt on a chick when you should have did that to begin with. You got these women like Malika Andrews and the rest of these bozos that work in ESPN, Fox Sports Network. They will say that it's disgusting for people to try to figure out who's the other party that's involved with Ime Udoka. You got Ime Udoka getting slandered, getting dragged through the mud left and right on all types of sites. Meanwhile, there's a mystery woman. Who is this chick? It's only natural for men and women to try to dig up on Twitter, internet, Google, wherever it may be, to figure out who is this chick. Why are they withholding her identity? It's only about the black man, and they don't care about women that much because you got a black woman on the other end. You got Nia Long getting dragged up. Everybody talking about Nia Long now. You got all these basic dudes talking about, damn, how you do that to Nia Long, all of this shit. Like, come on, man. They will do that. They will say that it's disgusting for men and women, but specifically men, because you already know that their energy isn't directed to women. No, of course not. They want to protect women. They want to believe all women. They will think it's disgusting for men to try to figure out who's the other party. They will dig up the past on an interim coach, Joe Mazzulla. They have no problem dragging black men through the mud specifically, while glorifying you on the flip side, riding your Johnson on the flip side. But when it comes to women, they don't want to dig up their past. Who was in the media to this magnitude of Ime Udoka and Robert Sarver? It just so happens to be another player that's in Phoenix, Brittany Griner. Nobody's bringing up the fact that Brittany Griner was beating bitches up. Of course not. Why would you bring that up? Why would you bring up a domestic violence that took place between two women? I mean, damn. I guess we're only concerned about the domestic violence between a man and a woman, I guess, right? So that you could just blame the man for being so violent and being the aggressor, because of course you got to believe all women. I mean, damn. Now they're calling Brittany Griner a hostage. She's a political prisoner and whatnot for hashish oil. 0.7 grams too much in Russia. Now she's a sympathetic figure and whatnot. Nobody wants to talk about women in that way. Yes, sir. But let's just check this video out real quick, because it takes for something to happen for men to try to figure out who this chick was when you should have been doing that from the beginning, man. Malika Andrews is a radical feminist, just like the rest of these women that they're trying to say is up and coming in ESPN.
And Woj, you reported that Joe Mazzulla will be the interim head coach here. You can see his resume on your screen. He's been a Celtics assistant coach the last 3 seasons after spending the previous 3 seasons at Fairmount State. And he played for West Virginia between 2006 and 2011, and now could become the NBA's youngest head coach at 34 years old. And we'd be remiss not to also mention that Mazzulla was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. He pled guilty, paid a fine, and then again in 2009 for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar. The domestic battery case never went to trial. It was settled in August of 2009. He paid a $100 fine and court costs, plus had to do 40 hours of community service. Now, that was 13 years ago. He settled and paid both fines. So, Woj, why are the Celtics choosing him as their next head coach?
We don't give a fuck what Woj got to say. After slandering this black man, if you want to call him that, she wants to run right to the white man to ask him his take on why the Celtics trust him. When it comes to bringing up the past on the black man, they're going to do that to the T. ESPN takes no breaks. People think that is Malika Andrews. Of course, she has no problem slandering you. She has no problem acting like she likes you for an interview, locker room talk, for a story that's empty. Come on, man. And then you got these two quote unquote brothers that are sitting on the end of the table that are just like, I know this is fucked up, but I gotta get this checked. You know what I mean? The monsters that men create, and then they go on the internet just to complain about them. Son, she said it would be irresponsible not to bring up the past of Joe Mazzulla, but when it comes to bringing up the past of a Brittany Griner who couldn't stand this country when she was here, you keep that on the hush. But it's enough of that. I'm out.